Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome to another podcast. Episode 3 of Loki came out today. It was really, really epic. I think it's by far the best episode in not just this series, but any Disney Plus series anywhere. So right now, I'm actually at my internship, but I just finished watching the episode when I was at home. And basically, this episode was, it kind of exposed us to the relationship of the two Loki variants, which is the variant that we know from the Avengers, and the Lady Loki, which is kind of like spoilers. But if you guys are watching this, you guys or watching or reading this, or hearing this, you guys are probably like watched the first 2 episodes already or seen clips or whatever. So yeah, Lady Loki, she's out there. She's been built up as this big antagonist, killing off all of these time variant TVA agents, officers, whatever you call them. And she hunts them down, and she's been branded as this kind of this villain. But in this episode, you kind of see where she's coming from, where she says that she's been hunted by the Time Variance Authority for ever since she was a little kid, and she's essentially a Loki variant, and she has this whole episode centered around her relationship with the variant Loki that we know, who isn't really much of a variant from the one that we've been used to all these years, because he's just been taken from a point in time where he is not supposed to be taken from, where he wasn't supposed to escape, right? But he's still pretty much the same Loki, minus the character development in Thor: The Dark World and Thor: Ragnarok. But essentially, something that kind of caught my attention in a way that made me start to wonder. There's certain things about this Lady Loki that we don't really know. We just know that those are there's certain things about her, but we don't know what they mean. Like the first one, she's wearing a Loki crown, or Loki's horns, but one of them has been snapped off. Okay, so that's the first one, and I'm gonna get to that in a second. The second one is she hates being called Loki. Okay, she hates being called Loki. And the third one that really, really bothers me is the fact that she doesn't even have, she says she's adopted, but she's not from Asgard, and she wasn't she essentially asked Loki what was she like. What was her name again? Yeah, basically Loki's mom, they don't have the same parents, adopted parents, but they came to be both adopted. And the reason why I point these things out is because, there may be a possibility that this Loki is not really Loki. Whoa, right? That's crazy. Everybody's been saying this, but I'd like to add something to that. It's kind of weird, this episode, because, you see that there's Loki and then there's Lady Loki, and they're talking, and you kind of feel that there's kind of this chemistry. And it's kind of weird because you wouldn't know, it's very weird to say that they have chemistry. But there's also this one scene in particular that stuck out to me where they're talking about love, where she says, "What is love?" And she gives her definition of love. And he says, "I don't really know. Maybe I'd need a drink to find out." And they both took a rest. And then she woke up with Loki, drunk. And then Loki's like, love is like a dagger. It's like, it can kill you. But when you reach out for it, you realize that it was all fake or whatever. It was like a terrible metaphor like that. And she also, previously in that conversation, she also stated that she did fall in love with a postman, a couple of years back through her, during her adventures and stuff. And something really, really kind of, I don't know, there's something about that statement where I don't think that is just like a simple postman, I think that that postman may have been a Loki variant, and she is not a Loki. She's just a variant, but she's not a Loki. And she may have learned magic from that variant, and which is how she was able to, escape all these years. And maybe that Loki ended up dying at some point. So basically what I'm saying is that she the reason why she has such an affinity for this Loki is not because they're of the same being, essentially, but rather because she fell in love with the Loki variant once, and now she's kind of seeing this thing. Because why would she out of nowhere just ask, like, what is love? I think that there's definitely something along those lines that's gonna be dropped in the future. We don't know. What do you. Okay, so let me talk about the three things that I just said. So the broken horn. Okay, that's number one. That could be kind of a symbolism to that variant of Loki dying, and she's just trying to carry on the torch. Maybe his mission was the same mission as her, essentially. Number two, what was the second one I said? I totally forgot what I said. She doesn't like the name Loki, okay? So she doesn't like the name Loki because it probably triggers bad memories of, maybe occurrences that have happened in the past, or like I said, Loki could have been killed by the TVA, which is what led her to, take on this mission in the first place. And then the third one I said, what was the third one I said? I totally forgot what I said. Yeah, so whatever. Like, essentially, what was it that I said? Was it the chemistry? I don't remember. I'm not writing any of this down. This is literally, sorry, that was the truck. So yeah, I think that essentially something along the lines of this could happen in the future. That would be, kind of interesting. Similar to the twist in Superman and Lois, where it turns out that Luthor was actually John Henry Irons, a.k.a. Steel, and he was actually married to a Lois Lane in his timeline, and Superman killed that Lois Lane. Might be similar to that. This episode really kind of, I know this is mainly a Lady Loki video, but I also want to talk about how, this episode kind of shows you like the adjustment that these people are facing, the variants themselves, and certain things like that. And I feel like I'm gonna make more another video on that, because I feel like this show does get into certain topics that are relevant in the world today. And like Kevin Feige says, that's what he believes makes Marvel, not just the MCU, but Marvel Comics in general, so appealing, because they're so relatable in society. They're not just just these larger than life characters. They're dealing with the same things that we are. And I'm gonna get into that in another video. Thank you guys for watching. Please leave a like and subscribe, and any thoughts, please let me know. I'm so I'm so happy with the way the show is going. It's gonna be great, guys. Take care.